welcome to the live Facebook tasting. We've got Young Nose Johnson.
Hey, welcome.
We are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We are doing whiskey live tonight.
Yes.
With a Facebook live event of tasting Weller's Special Reserve. So if you're all there, you can kind of chime in on, comment on the people commenting too.
I can do that.
Because I can't read it from here.
Yeah,
you got it right in your hand.
It's a little difficult.
So,
yeah.
So when you got up, so
we got Nick and Rachel joining us right now.
all right, all right, it's great. We are going to be tasting the Weller's Special Reserve tonight. We've got some information on the history of Weller's, William Lowry Weller, and we've got it on the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Weller is a wheated bourbon. It is the first, or the affordable in the Weller wheated bourbon line. There's Weller Antique 107. There's William Lowry Weller, Weller 12-year, Weller Full Proof, and so there's a lot of different versions of this wheated bourbon as they go. But we've found, tasting most of them, that they're all really, really good. So we do this live tasting. We are going to pour a pour. We are going to taste it. We do a rating system of 0 to 100.
Yeah.
We taste the nose. We do 25 for the nose, 25 for the taste, 25 for the body, and 25 for the finish.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then once we get that, we score out of 100.
Yep.
We'll rate it. We like to go through everything about it. We have different reviews. We have different things,
got some
information
from outside sources. Yep.
Right. So if you've got the bottle, get ready to taste along with us. If you don't have a bottle, grab a bottle of your favorite thing and taste along with us.
Yeah.
And but we will be tasting it once we pour it. We taste it regular, we rate it, but then we taste it with a pecan and a cherry. Now remember, the rating system is based off of what our palates are. So a lot of times people's palates, most of the time, everybody's palate's different. They all like different things. Some people like wheated bourbon. Some people, this particular bourbon is a 90 proof. So other people like an 80 proof. Some people only like barrel strength. So it's what your personal taste is. But what we're trying to do is, get some people, taste along, drink whiskey.
There is one thing in common that we all have, even though our palates are different. We all think our palate is the best palate out there. Am I right?
That's true. Or we all try and compare our palates to the people who have the best palates. So, it's kind of like with all the barrel picks lately. That it's just amazing that there's certain different places, different stores, different people, different groups all pick their barrels out, and some people pick really good barrels. They're able to get that.
Oh yeah.
So with that said, let's go off of, I'll give you a little history here of William Lowry Weller. He was born in 1825. He was one of the early whiskey pioneers in Kentucky. After serving with the Louisville Brigade in the 1840s, Weller returned to Louisville to open his wholesale liquor business, and Weller developed his original bourbon recipe with wheat rather than rye in the mash bill. Wheat is a soft grain, providing his bourbon with a mild, gentle, and smooth taste. Weller is reported to have the slogan, honest whiskey and an honest price. And this particular whiskey I paid $22.99 for, so that definitely is an honest price. Yeah. Some people pay more, but this was MSRP. It's available in Ohio. We are lucky we get the Weller products. Yeah. He spent his lifetime educating consumers about the differences in his bourbon. William Lowry Weller wheated bourbon became so popular that Weller was forced to put a green thumbprint on barrels to ensure that the customers were receiving the real deal. Pappy Van Winkle eventually merged Weller namesake company with the Stitzel Distillery to form the Stitzel Weller Distillery. The legacy of William Lowry Weller continues to be honored today with award-winning wheated bourbons such as Weller Special Reserve, Weller 12-year, and Weller Antique 107. Now, now that Buffalo Trace is working with producing the Weller and the Pappy Van Winkle, that's all the same mash bill. Weller, Pappy, the wheated bourbons that they produce are all the same mash bill. This is the same mash bill as the Pappy Van Winkle also.
Yep.
Now today, Harlan Wheatley is the current master distiller.
Yep.
He basically worked his way up, joined the distillery as a supervisor in 1995. He was re-enshrined at the flagship Buffalo Trace bourbon was introduced. It marked a new era in distillery esteemed history, and Harlan continued to make his mark as he was promoted to distiller manager in 2000. He was the master distiller in 2005, becoming Buffalo Trace's 6th master distiller since the Civil War. Now, Buffalo Trace has had many very good master distillers. Colonel E.H. Taylor, William Blanton, Elmer T. Lee. I mean, we are talking about some famous master distillers, and the product that they're producing today still is a really good product. Now, we start pouring your pours. Everybody get ready. Hey, it looks like you got a little more than me. That's really not fair.
That's okay. You have a whole bottle.
All right. So my part, I'll finish up here, is that Jim Murray has a Weller Special Reserve. Now this barcode on this particular bottle is L20 133 0115 218. So the barcode that he was tasting was L17208011514. So yeah. So but he gets a warm nutty mocha lead, heads slowly towards licorice, a light Demerara background. Salivating and surprisingly firm for a wheated bourbon. The spices are intact though and act as fanfare to move muscular oak notes. Dry and toasty with imperiously excellent, yet somehow given to understatement. It's a 90 proof, and he rated this one a 93 out of 100. But that's what Jim Murray in 2020 Whiskey Bible gave it. Now, do you want to go through some notes from somebody, or do you want to try and get our notes first and see if we compare up? It's up to you. I can take these off now.
Well, you kind of gave us a little bit of notes with Jim Murray.
Yeah.
He got, which I find it interesting. The other outside source is BreakingBourbon.com. We usually use them a lot on the podcast. I don't know. They just have a good form for their website. It's simple to follow, but what they get compared to what Jim Murray got is like totally opposite, because they got a plain kind of a standard bourbon smell, taste, nothing excited, nothing unique, and he got nutty and licorice and dry mocha, and there's all kinds of interesting flavors in there. So obviously bottles and barrels differ.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just think it's interesting how one person got such a complex taste and smell, and these ones are a little bit more conservative. So, Breaking Bourbon, their nose, basically they get the alcohol hit at first.
Okay.
It's not an overkill, but they say it's a little surprising for the 90 proof that it is. And then it follows with hints of apple, caramel, honey, and a dab of vanilla, with a light oak aroma that mixes in throughout the whole thing. The taste, or the palate in their case, is the wheat grain is very sweet and pleasant. The vanilla and caramel shine through very well, and it hits the tongue and it gets more caramely and vanilla, but not complex.
Okay.
And then the finish is sweet, but then lingers to a dry oaky, but it's not too bitter, not too dry to be a deal breaker. It's more of just a solid finish with some heat. So
excellent.
We got a pretty plain review on that one.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So let's see what our review.
Yes, let's see what our review. Here, cheers.
To the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
So the nose, I agree with the. There's a little ethanol alcohol. There's a sting. There's no doubt a little sting on the nose. But I get
instantly, yeah.
I'm getting vanilla, but almost a banana. And I normally have never. I smell the caramel, but it's almost like. You smell that? What do you think?
I'm not too sure about the banana. I don't really get a banana, but I definitely don't get a dry mocha.
No.
And I don't really get the apple either. I get the alcohol, the little green alcohol that comes out.
I could see a little green apple.
And then
right off the sting.
Yeah.
Like think of a green apple with that little tart, and then right off the sting, I get a little. That's there. Yeah, a little green apple. Then it goes to caramel, sweet.
Yeah, like a sour apple. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get that.
Yeah, I get that. All right. Are we gonna taste?
Yeah, why not?
Here we go.
Here we go. Down
Cheers.
the hatch.
Wow.
Definitely ethanol first.
Has a nice spice. But folks, that's my first taste of the night.
Oh.
So there's no way that
we got another one agreeing with your banana.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a licorice. From,
well, I'm getting a little.
Kristen Watt.
Okay, I'm getting a little. What would you say? I get a little licorice on the taste, especially on the finish right now.
Yeah.
But I need a little bit more in here. Okay. Yeah, hey. I definitely. That was good Kentucky
You just
Chew.
took too big of a.
No, but I had to get my mouth washed out to see how the body is. Let's see what. How does it go? Oh, it does a nice thing and nice long leg. Look at that, really? Going back into the. That's really nice as far as you know.
Yeah, in the glass.
Wow, look at that, going right back into the golden deliciousness.
Yeah. I really
I
really like the color on that one. It is very.
All right,
nice.
so now. Yeah, I'm getting more banana at the moment. A little bit more banana because...
After the taste, after my taste buds are shocked, going back to that second smell, I get more of the dry oak, a little less of the alcohol, but more of the dry oak and that subtle, sweet, sour apple. And mixes pretty well.
That second taste is just a huge, spicy caramel explosion in my mouth. That goes to licorice. It's it's similar to the same taste when you drink absinthe, like what's left in your mouth. That little bit of licorice taste there. So it's not too bad, but it's very similar to what that licorice taste of absinthe. You know,
it's definitely a nice smooth.
What do we got?
I really like that nice smooth.
Well, that's for sure.
Lots of oak, no apple for me.
Okay, yeah, I could. It's.
Bill gets ethanol and caramel.
I definitely get but I'm really loving the body on this is pretty good.
Yeah.
For a $22 bottle of bourbon, there's a lot of it fills your mouth delicious. Fully. Now as far as the I'm trying to think, I get that nice taste at the end. I'm just trying to see. It's probably a medium finish. Right?
Yeah, it's not long, but it's not really short either. it lingers pretty well. The heat kind of keeps it going. If it wasn't for that heat, it would just go bitter oak.
Yeah.
And then it would just kind of be unpleasant.
It's
but the heat, the little bit of the spicy heat kind of keeps it going.
It's got the spice, but it doesn't, and the heat, but it doesn't have the kick.
Right.
You know, it's definitely like Greg was saying, it's a weeder. There's no doubt about it. That wheat, that smoothness. Now it's nowhere near as smooth as the higher level Weller, but it's still. I mean, this thing pops a bang for your buck, and it doesn't let you forget it's whiskey. It's pretty good.
I enjoy it.
I get that. I get a little bit of oak, a little bit of oaky, but not a bitter oak.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, now I'm getting a little bit of sour apple to licorice. You know, it's changing as you keep hitting it.
I just get total intense vanilla caramel, that sweet sugar, and then mixed with oak on the taste. I may get a little bit of the sour apple on the smell, And then it kind of goes maybe a little bit of a cinnamon on the finish, to like a honey sweet finish. But
I like the sweetness of the finish. There's no doubt about it.
It's good.
Yeah.
So what do you give it on your rating system?
All right, the nose. Out of 25, I'm gonna give the nose an 18. The nose wasn't. It had a couple things in it, but it wasn't exceptionally.
Yeah.
Now, and from a distance, pour a little more.
He's going for more,
yeah,
folks.
why not? Pour a little more. Yes. The nose, but it's really not strong. Not even just sitting in your glass. Like, you gotta get your nose buried in there to get that. So I'm gonna give the nose an 18.
An 18. Yeah. I would agree. It's definitely a good nose. It's not exceptional, but it's not poor quality either. It's like right there on the medium. I do like the initial smell was nice with the little alcohol and went sweet, but as soon as you go to like take a sip and then you go back to the nose, it just goes dry oak. So I give it a 15.
15. So I got an 18. You got a 15.
Yeah.
All right. For the taste, I like it. Because I like weed.
Yeah.
I love a weeder. I love weeded bourbons.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So there hasn't been one that I haven't liked.
Yeah.
So the taste, I'm gonna take the taste up to with the caramel, and then I like the spice. But now the spice was a little bit heavy on. It wasn't enough to like make it powerful and you burn your tongue or whatever, but it was spicy to say, hey, I'm a weeded whiskey.
Right.
But at the same time, it did take away some of the taste going across your mouth as far as on your tongue to get to your throat.
Yeah.
I think the body filling your mouth was better, so on the taste, I'm going to go with the 20.
20, okay. Yeah, I was thinking the same number there too, just because, again, my personal preference, I enjoy the weeded bourbons, the smoothness of it. It did kind of take back from some of that vanilla caramel flavor that I'd like to have in a bourbon, but it also kept the heat down, which I enjoy, and it didn't overpower me with that heat or that bitterness like a rye bourbon would going down my throat. So I would give it a 20 as well.
All right, so we get to the body, and it was a very full bourbon. It really did nice in the glass.
Yep.
It clung to the glass.
Yep.
It spread out, went back in, ran back in with get what you want in a bourbon. The color's nice, and then what in my mouth, it was rich and full. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to have to give it a 22.
Yeah.
I was going to give
it a 22 or a 20 also?
No, a 22.
Okay.
not also
okay.
A 22, a
okay.
22.
So 18, 20, and 22.
Yes, I do that. I'm doing that because it really fills my mouth. That's why I took that last sip.
So you're at 60. So for me, the body was good. It was definitely a full body. I really enjoy the nice color. It's fun to look at. It definitely clings well in the glass, like you had said. In all, it's a full-bodied bourbon, which is great. The heat has a slight tingle. Maybe I would want a little bit more of that heat intensity, just to linger around with that full body, just so I know, hey, it is a good bourbon. But it's also a really, really good priced bourbon at $22.99 a bottle that you can't really beat that. So I'm not going to knock it too much, but I can't really give it any higher than a 20.
Okay, that's good. So I gave it a 22. I took that. I lean more towards just when my mouth is full of bourbon when I'm tasting it. I just enjoy that. So then the last part is the finish. Now the finish is definitely medium. I like it. It's on the light part, but it's on the average finish, and to be a great bourbon, you always got a little bit above average. Yeah. There's no doubt. We're tasting and having fun tonight. So I just
need a little sip.
It's a fifth. So average is a 15. but it's sweet. So I'm going to take that up to, I am going to give it a 17 on the finish, which gives me a total score of 77.
Yeah. I could, I'm going to have to get a bottle of that.
Yeah, Weller. Weller, and
Yeah,
it's so readily available here
Oh
that
my
it's just
gosh.
like, it's like, you know, I see like other price points of $49.99, and it's like
Yeah.
$22.99. It's this whole week it's been on the shelf. It hasn't been gone or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah. The finish is great. I mean, there's a little bit of that heat there, but it's masked by that soft wheat smoothness, which is delicious because, you know, I could drink on it and this might be one of those, what do you call it, the creepers, where you don't really know how much you've had till you go to stand up.
Oh yeah. Well, I would say
because it doesn't have that taste in your mouth that says, hey, you just got done drinking 90 proof whiskey. It just says, hey, this was delicious and you need some more because it's good. So I can't knock it too much. Again, it's not the best finish that I've had or that I would prefer. So I give it a 21.
Okay.
Which puts me at 76.
And I was 77.
Because I was at 55
well,
and 21.
Kristen,
76,
you thought it was hot, and it is a little bit hotter. It drinks like a higher proof bourbon, definitely a higher proof wheater of 90. What I'd like everybody to do is, now that you've all rated it, everybody who's been drinking along, post your final, what your final total is.
Yep.
We would like to see what everybody's total is. I've been getting 20 here, 18 here, 19 here. Greg, post your final. Karen, post your final. Let's see. Greg. Man, you guys are lucky to find it.
At the price point.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's like you could get the 1.75 liter. I think it was $42. It's even, it was just like a bottle, 2.5 bottles, or two, whatever it is.
He had a previous comment.
The 2 and a quart, what?
He had a previous comment. He said in the Bay Area it was $60 a bottle out there.
Yeah, and it's just like it's funny how certain places, like there's certain things we don't see. Although we've been seeing a little bit of E.H. Taylor around here, but you have to like be part of the wait in line, and those people who aren't working are really taking advantage of that. And us people who work.
We did have somewhat of a in at that one liquor store in Massillon.
Yeah, we've got it in, but I just haven't figured out the calling schedule yet. But I will. Right. It's just like,
he said their shipments on Thursdays, so we got to call in on Thursdays.
Well, the last time I called on Thursday, he said now it was Friday.
Well, that's because everything's backed up.
Yeah. Yep. So what do we got? Greg, you gave it a 77. Karen a 73. Bill a 73. Kristen. What did you think? That would be nice to know. It was good.
Well, you had already mentioned that one. I do have a fun fact about the old distillery before it became Buffalo Trace as it was before. It was the OFC distillery
that they bought. That's the distillery that bought the brand from Stitzel Weller when it went out, right? And I even think they were someone else, but then they changed into the OFC, but it's the same.
It may have been before. I'm not sure when the Stitzel Weller merger with Weller came to play, because this was in 1886. Was when this happened, but they had a fire.
Cheers to your last pour, Greg.
Yes.
He said it was the last pour of his bottle. So
I think they had a fire in the 1870s, and then they rebuilt it right away. And then in 1886, obviously the steam engine came around, and so in 1886, the OFC distillery installs the steam heating system, making it the first distillery to use steam heat to heat up their mash.
Okay.
Whereas before it was wood-fired copper pot stills. which is what OFC actually stands for. It stands for the Old-Fashioned Wood-Fired Copper Pot Still Distillery.
So that's a cool. We were able to get to the Buffalo Trace Distillery. If you're able to get there, it's a fantastic place. Super grounds, giant. They've got like 3 or 4 different tours. They just opened brand new visitor center. Wonderful place. Their visitor center, you can purchase. We were able to purchase some of the bourbon, but it looks like now that Kentucky has eased up some of their laws for what's been going on, that you can actually purchase bottles consistently at the distillery, where it was discouraged kind of in the past because the distributors were the ones that were trying to distribute all the bourbon throughout the country and Kentucky. So that's where we are, folks. But we are going to now give it a taste with a pecan and a cranberry. If you want to stick around, it's always good to taste with a little bit of to see how food will change.
I'm gonna start with a cherry.
He's gonna start with the cherry. I'll start with the cherry. We got a couple cherries in here. Oh.
Did you drop your cherry? Go for another.
There's another one. It tried to jump in my mouth. All right. When tasting.
I just love the taste of cherries.
Oh, those are, yeah. I love that over a cranberry. But when tasting, chew it up thoroughly and then swallow it down first, so you have the cherry taste in your mouth, not the cherry, and then take a taste.
Oh my goodness. It takes that kick back, it takes the oak down.
And the caramel.
And the caramel and the vanilla down, and it's just straight grain whiskey.
Oh my god, I get total caramel.
No, I get cherry flavor with grain whiskey.
Cherry caramel.
It almost makes it taste like it's cherry flavored whiskey.
No, it makes me. It actually, to me, it tastes like cherry flavored ice cream. If I do that again,
I'm gonna have to do that again. That was good.
But remember, swallow it all first. I don't need a spray.
Don't worry, man.
All right. So that's what it ups the things. The body probably isn't.
This is where you need to be careful. Oh, the pecan.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna chew this one up first before I swallow.
All of it. Swallow all of it.
Trust me. I'm not spraying tonight.
We're supposed to be good at this. That brings up the spice. Holy man. That's like punch you in the face. Spice tongue with some oak.
That's that heat tingle along with the body. That full body just makes it, I don't know. It's like a whiskey party going on.
Yep. We're going to be calling Greg. We're pretty much, that does it for us. Now, if you all want to join us for the after party, the finished party, we are going to pour a couple pours. John, or Young Nose, and I, myself, Tiny. Well, first off, we are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We have a Scotchy Bourbon Boys Facebook page and group. Make sure you go, ask to join the group, like the page, and
podcast.
Then we have a podcast on the Scotchy Bourbon Boys on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and also Spotify. Check us out there. Please subscribe. And then we also have an Instagram page. Please follow us on Instagram. Woo. So with that said, we are done. We're going to go to the finish party. If you want to be a part of it, it's Facebook Messenger. So we all go video. So leave me a message on the bottom. I'll make a group on the people who want to come in. I'll invite a couple other people. Sometimes we can get some people like Greg Schneider from Chicken Cock Whiskey, or we get Jeff Schwartz,
yeah, we had
writer.
James Hyatt.
Yep, we did, cool. and we somehow get some really good conversations going and learn a lot about whiskey. So if you want to join that, make a comment. Give me 5 minutes, usually 5 to 10 minutes if it takes a little bit, because sometimes I'll do it. Now, I could also, so let me know. And if it's just the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, I might make a Facebook group chat, and everybody can join along with that. But let's see what it is. All right. So
thanks for joining us. It was a wonderful tasting. Glad to be here, Tiny. It was wonderful.
Great to see everybody. Thanks for tasting along.
And remember, great bourbon brings great friends together for great fellowship. Good night.
Good night.